Hello, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. Before I get into my topic of can and cannot do, our mindset, thinking in that, I want to invite you to go to my link in the comments below to my book called You Are Made to Heal Spiritually, Emotionally, Mentally, and Physically. It's just my journey of being stuck. I thought I was stuck. I wasn't really stuck. I was the one getting in my own way. I suffered from depression, suicidal thoughts, and anger, and not knowing how to get past childhood trauma, not knowing how to process those emotions, and not knowing how to have a spiritual connection. And I wasn't doing great mentally, and it was a touch and go physically. We are made to heal spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And hitting rock bottom in the fall of 2015 was the biggest blessing God could have given me. I was at my ultimate low, and I just have been on this beautiful, incredible journey of healing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And when I wrote this book, I was thinking of teens and adults alike, because this is where I suffered. I suffered in my teen years. I suffered in my early adult years. I suffered in my mid, in my 30s, and into my beginning of my 40s is when I was truly soaking everything up that I could learn to better myself and to feel like I had connection with God, myself, and family. And it's been a beautiful journey. And I just share out of the box ideas with ways that I have found healing in. And no matter where you find yourself on your healing journey, I think you can find something that will be of use. So check that out, share it with others. God bless. So the can and cannot do. I hear this all the time. I can't do that. I could never do that. Or, in my thinking, when I was a senior in high school, I was so excited because I just had this drive of I want to help people, and I wanted to go into the counseling field. I wanted to be a counselor. I looked up to this lady. I idolized her, and I just thought she is the best, and she's just so, and so I remember I went up to her and I said, "Hey, I really want to know what it takes to do what you do. And I'm really interested." And she just laughed at me and said, "Oh, honey, you will never get there. You're not smart enough, and you don't have this and this." And that crushed me. As an 18-year-old, it crushed me, and I bought into this lie. So when we are saying we can and cannot do things to ourselves, it's a lie. It's a lie, and it's not necessarily can or cannot. Take those words out and replace it with will or will not. We will do it or we will not do it. That's what it boils down to. But forever, I had this this is a great concept which started me into this can and cannot do. Um, it reminds me of a saying of Henry Ford's when he says, "If you think you can or cannot do something or do a thing, you are correct. Now I'm going to repeat that again because that's so important. If you think you can or cannot do a thing, you are correct. Either way, you're correct." So I'm going to share a story without sharing names. I have a beautiful family, several children, but I had three boys right in a row. Three boys. And when I say right in a row, they're all, the oldest is 3 years older than the youngest of the boys, of this group of boys. And so, they're all like 18 months apart, right? 18 months apart between these three boys. And the last boy that I had of these boys, he wanted to be like his brothers. He wanted to be able to do, because, it's just, he was the last of these boys, and boys are tough and macho. "Look what I can do, Mom. Hey, I can jump for this high. I can jump from this step to this." And boy, and they had my attention, and I was attentive, and and the youngest of these boys are like, he always had to outshine and outdo his older brothers to prove that he could do it. And it was just so fun to watch this. And I called him my can do man, because he had this, I just, he didn't say it out loud, but his spirit was screaming out from the rooftops. He's like, if they can do it, I can too. Anything they can do, I can do it. And so I just called him my can do man. And it was just cool because we can do anything we set our minds to. We can do it, right? So having this can do attitude is a blessing. We can do it. We can become better. We can become closer to God spiritually. We can have that personal relationship with God to where we are getting revelation, the windows of heaven being open. We can process through our emotions. We can get through the yucky negative feelings that we feel. We can get through any mental blockages that we have. We can get through that. We can increase our health physically to be better, stronger, and we can do any of that. But if we believe in the lies, all the lies and the illusions that are set before us in this world, we see them on billboards, we see them on TV commercials and ads, and just everywhere we look. And you know what? Maybe we were raised with some lies. Maybe we were told some things that just weren't truth, but we bought into it. I bought into so many lies as a child. I bought into them and I believed them, and then I bought into this other lie when this lady said, "Oh, you can't do that. You're not smart enough." And I bought into it, and I played into the victim, right? Like, oh, well, that just shut me down, and I listened to it. Now, there's one or two things you can do. You can choose when someone says you can or cannot do a thing. You can listen to them and buy into their lies and illusions, or you can say, hold up, you can say what you want, but that doesn't mean I have to listen and believe. So where is your belief system? You can do anything. And a lot of people, when I share what I do, I have a strict eating regime, and when someone's curious, oh, I see you're always eating that, like, why? And so there's always a why behind what we do, right? There should be we should live with intention. We can live with intention. And so this why behind things is why we do a lot of things. So why do we do what we do? Why are you doing your actions day in and day out, right? Sometimes we're on a mediocre thing, or we're just on the humdrum of life. And anyway, so yes, I eat differently than most of the world. And so it's a little bit different. And so I get asked, and then when they listen to what I do, they're like, oh, I could never do that. I can't give up. I can't give up my pop. I can't give up sugar. I can't give up chocolate. I can't give up this or whatever it is. And I'm like, you've missed the mark. It's not a matter of can or cannot, because anybody can do it. Whatever you do not put me on a pedestal of being this superhuman, because I'm not. But anybody can do anything they want if they set their mind to it. And it's not a matter of can or cannot. It's a matter of will or will not. Will you have a stronger connection spiritually with God? Will you connect? Will you do that? Will is an action. It's action going into place, whether we will or will not. Either way, there is action being taken on our part. So will we choose to process through our emotions? Will we choose to feel our emotions rather than suppress them? Will we choose to clear the mental blockages that we have placed upon ourselves, or that society has placed on us? Will we choose to get our bodies in alignment with true health, to where we feel good and we have the energy to get our life purpose and our mission accomplished? What is it we will do, and what is it we will not do? It is important to be clear on who you are, your true authentic self. What will you do? What will you not do? Okay, there's a lot of things I will not do because that goes against my belief systems, my core values. And I was just typing training on values, by the way. Brene Brown, I love her books. Go listen or read her books or listen to them. But she talks about having a value system, and we have core values that we live by, and pick the top two core values that defines everything you do in this life. And you will be directed, you'll be guided, you'll be focused on what those are, and it'll keep you honed in on that life purpose and mission. But we have these things, and so we decide what we will and will not do. There are so many things I will not do that goes against my core beliefs, just as I was saying. So it's important to write it down, know it in your heart and your mind, what you will not and will do. So I just want you to ask yourself, who have you been listening to? What lies have you bought into of the can and cannot? And just realize it's the will or will not. You are your own person. You have that power within you. You get to choose what you do with your time. To some degree, you don't have a whole lot of control of what you eat growing up because your parents provided for you. Your parents did the best they knew how at the time with what knowledge they had, and they did that. But now, as adults, we are in control. We have taken over the ship, right? We get to take over that ship and go, okay, where is it? Where do I want to go? Where do I want this path to lead me? Do I want it to lead me to destruction, or do I want it to lead to healing? And that's basically what it boils down to, destruction or healing. Christ builds, he heals, God heals and builds. But Satan, the devil, he destroys. He's all about destruction. What work are we taking? What work are we allowing to take place in our mind, in our heart on a daily basis? This is just food for thought. I've just had a lot of thought on the can and can't do. I hear it all the time. I can't do that. I would never do that. Or, oh, can and cannot. These are just powerful words, what we are telling ourselves. What are we doing to program our mind? We have these wires in our brain, and we have neuroplasticity that we can rewire certain areas of our brain, all areas of our brain. If we choose, we can rewire through metacognition, changing our thinking. And the metacognition is right in our third eye area. And we can change our thinking. We can change our heart. And we can get them together. And we can change those negative thought processes and turn them into positive healing moments for our journey. And because of this neuroplasticity, we can change that programming that we bought into growing up as a child, as a teen, as a young adult. We don't have to go the course that the rest of the world is going. I love the poem, and I don't remember who wrote it. I know it was someone fantastic, popular, but I don't want to throw a wrong name on there. But the road less traveled is the road worth taking. It is worth taking, going on your own path and doing what you have been called to do. It is following that within. And I have a lot of passion in the healing. I have a lot of, there's a lot of people that will say, oh, it's impossible. I was born with this, and so I'm going to die with it, and it's impossible. I have had this health issue for years and years and years, and it is impossible. I don't believe it. And so it is so important to be willing to change our programming, change our belief system. We have God and Christ in us, so we have the power and the capability of true healing, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I am a witness to this in my own life. It is a miracle that I have not had suicidal thoughts or depression for going on 10 years. It is a miracle. And I just know that healing can take place. Healing isn't a one and done thing. It takes a long time. Once you embark on that healing journey and decide this is where I'm at, there is no leaving it, and you are on it the rest of your life. And it's not just a one and done. It isn't a few months, well, I've got that one learned, next. No, it's building. It's called when we feel like we have a topic learned, we build. And then we're going to slide back on that topic that we learned. And we're like, oh my gosh, I need to learn how to love this person a little bit more. I need to learn how to forgive. Again, I thought I had forgiveness down, but nope. I mean, God will show us our weaknesses. Are we willing to address them and acknowledge them and make those weaknesses become strengths? We can only do that if we are willing to embark on a healing journey. So I am here to help you in your healing journey. Comment on topics that you want me to touch on. I don't have all the answers, but you know what? I have been in a great mind space for a long time, and I am continuing learning, and I'm continuing to build on principles that I've been learning. And so God bless you. Please like and subscribe to this channel. I love you. God loves you. And share this channel with other people. And until next time, we'll be talking to you later. Bye.